Do video games cause violence? This is an age-old question that has been asked since the days of arcades and retro games.
Training our young people to basically become a society of warriors, we're thinking is very harmful to our society and our society's future.
They improve a child's feelings of being in control, and that's something that many young children, in fact many adults for that matter, have little opportunity to feel these days.
How are today's vid kids affected by this brave new universe of electronic fun and games? Are they reduced to violent behavior after Titanic struggles on the screen? Or do they take out their normal aggressions harmlessly, perhaps learning new skills in the process? It's a question that hasn't really been explored very deeply, despite the video game invasion that's captured our pop culture.
It's a question that has become more relevant in recent years, with President Trump even blaming violent content for the rise in school shootings in America.
Violence following the Florida school shooting. And the president recently expressed shock at what young people are exposed to today.
The video games, the movies, the internet stuff is so violent. It's so incredible. I see it. I get to see things that you'd be amazed at. I have a very young son who I look at some of the things he's watching and I say, how is that possible? And this is what kids are watching.
A team of German scientists and researchers have recently released a study which states that there is no relation between real-life aggression and violent video games. In fact, they think that violent video games have the exact opposite effect, and it shows that violence carried out by 12 to 17-year-olds dropped between 1996 and 2011, a period which could be said to be a golden era for violent video games. A report published in early 2017 has a different view on things completely. It shows that video games do cause a short burst in aggressive behaviour, especially in young boys, but they carry on to say that they think violent movies and TV shows are more likely to cause a person to act in a violent way and is much more harmful to children than video games. We asked a group of students what their opinion on the matter was, and they all seemed to come to a very similar conclusion.
At the end of the day, it's just a sport. Like, video games, real games, board games, like, you've seen rages at Monopoly. It's exactly the same, but honestly, yeah, I think video games especially are kind of being used as a bit of a scapegoat when, as far as I've seen, they cause about as much anger as a game of Monopoly would.
It has a certain effect on certain people, but I think it all depends on the individual person.
No, I don't think they do. Just from my own experience, I've played many violent games where you get to rip off like people's heads, such as God of War. You get to do a lot of gruesome things in that, and I played that when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something, and I turned out okay. I'm not a violent maniac. There's obviously other problems in people's lives that cause them to be violent. It's not just video games. You can't just blame it on the one thing.
I don't think that they cause violence in themselves. That is the main thing to focus on. No one is actually going to pick up a video game and just become a violent person. There are so many other factors that contribute to that, and video games aren't one of them.
It's not just a video game that will make a person act violent. There are other factors that would be underlying, and that would have to be affecting a person's life before someone would act out in an aggressive way. We followed up this question with another. Why do you play video games?
Gives you something that no other medium of entertainment like film or TV can do, and that's immersion. So like, you control the character, you control the story, and that's totally different. You can't get anything like that watching a TV show or watching a movie.
The story, basically, I love it's like a different form of entertainment in terms of like, yeah, you control what's going on, and like, I love the story aspect to it. I don't really play online. I just like the actual feeling of completion, you know. That's why I play video games.
It's because I think they're the ultimate form of entertainment, because you've got the visuals, you got interactivity and you have stories, so it's more immersive than being in a movie. You get the same kind of enjoyment out of reading because you're following a plot, and you get to feel like you're part of the story. So that's why I like playing them.
I play video games because ever since I was a kid, it was the most easy and accessible way to kill the time. It's something that is different to just watching TV shows or a movie, but way more enjoyable. You actually have to input something into it. You don't just kind of sit there passively. So you get a sense of reward and a sense of actually having to put in some effort and use your mind a bit more.
John was wrong. Again, a similar theme seemed to run through all these responses. Story. Not everyone plays to be competitive. Many people play to escape from the day-to-day grind and follow a good narrative.
And the Lamb broke the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black, and the moon turned to blood.
It's an extremely immersive form of entertainment that people really love and enjoy.
Hey, help me out here, little buddy.
Video games have violent moments. They have intense moments. They also have emotional moments too.
I'm coming home, Ace.
They aren't just violent first-person shooters. Most games are beautifully story-driven and full of emotion. That's why people love them so much.